sure what to title this, but essentially we'll be flipping through a month in my life, and in quarantine that's basically meaning my bullet journal and taking notes on what I'm studying. So we'll just be flipping through my notebook, my kind of summer study notebook for math, and my June monthly bullet journal spread. So let's start off with the bullet journal first. So let's see. So June starts over here. I use washi tape to like mark out where I am. So, as you can see, I obviously put my mood tracker on the front of my page. I found that the year in pixels just wasn't very useful for me, and this way I didn't have to go too elaborate on my designs for my bullet journal, because my mood tracker could be like the kind of centerpiece of attention on my monthly spread. And so for coloring these in, I've been using the Tombow brush pens, although now I do realize in retrospect that this could be leading to them fraying, but that's okay. But yeah, so this is my front spread. So next is kind of just like to-do list for me. This is how I use my bullet journal. My bullet journal is more about utility than cuteness, so you'll see that a lot of stuff doesn't look too hot, but it's okay. This is my testing plan, so I have a big test upcoming. I'm procrastinating on that by creating this video, but that's a totally different story. Yeah, so this is kind of like a plan to attack that, kind of. And so these little marks you see, so these little marks that you see here are like the number of water bottles I drank that day. So like around, I don't know how big my water bottle is, but as you can see, I haven't updated anything for Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, so yeah. And so this is the point where I restocked my Pentel Fude Touch, so I was able to use that for these. Again, as you can tell, I'm kind of iffy with the to-do lists and the schedules, so I haven't really been updating that. This is just a blank page for the rest of the week. And this is just a birthday spread because it was my birthday on June 15th. And after this, I feel like since June isn't over yet, I'll probably just have a monthly recap, and then it'll be time for July. Yeah, so that's it for my June bullet journal. So now we're gonna move on into my notes. Oh, and by the way, for my bullet journal, the only supplies I used were the Pentel Fude Touch. This is a marker that I picked up at Target, so I'm not sure what this is, but this pen, these pens, towards the beginning of the month, I think I was using the Pilot G2, G7, I don't remember the number, but right now I've been mostly obsessed with this, the Rosa Black. And yeah, these colors are Tombow brush. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I've been using. As I mentioned before, my bullet journal is pretty minimalistic, so. Okay, and so these are my notes. Obviously, school is kind of out. Right now, it's summertime in the US. I don't know about other countries, but where I live, it is summertime. So I've been going through a summer study course. So these are just basically my notes for that. You'll see that my note-taking style, I can't speak today. You'll see that my note-taking style has clearly evolved from the beginning of this notes period. So as you can see, I used to use a pencil. My go-to pencil was a Papermate Sharpwriter HB number 2. It's very good for Scantrons, and it's also a mechanical pencil, as you can see, so it worked well for me. The highlighting is just done by my only highlighter brand, Zebra Mildliners. Yeah. So what you'll see is that my note-taking style evolved to be a little bit more aesthetic towards the end of this, mainly because I spent a lot of time on social media, like my Tumblr and my Instagram, and I saw all these like very aesthetic study blur pictures, so I tended to want to kind of emulate them. I don't really know. I also got a lot more supplies towards the end of my note-taking, so I think that might have contributed to it as well. So yeah, you can tell that I really edged on the eye-catching highlighters. So I think this is the point where I started using cursive as my headers. So just to give us a bit of like background behind this, I used the super tips at this point for cursive, and these are the best for beginners. Like, they give off the same vibe as like a calligraphy pen as a brush pen. if you use them correctly, and they're come in huge packs of like big colors, and they're great for beginners because of the stiffness of the tip. So I would really recommend for beginners, and that's exactly what I was at the time I was making these headers, so they worked out pretty well for me. I think you can see that there's starting to emerge like a color coding pattern for each chapter, but it doesn't really stay like that way. Oh, and so these are like, oh, whoa. So I started using pen, I think, right about here. As I mentioned earlier, my favorite pen is the Zebra Sarasa 0.5 millimeter. This is the best. It smudges a bit, especially with the Zebra Mineliners, but if you just wait like, I don't know, 5 to 7 seconds, I think you'll be fine with the smudging on this. This is my absolute favorite, the best black ink. Although I think some of this is the Pilot G2. G7, I really need to discover this. And this is also some of the Zebra Sarasa blue ink. So we'll just keep on moving. Oh, and you'll see that I made quite a few mistakes with my whiteout, and I don't use any like fancy correction tape. One that's been working out pretty well for me is the BIC Whiteout Easy Correct. Yeah, it's the basic brand I picked up at my local Walmart, and it's pretty good so far. It hasn't been too bad with the smudging or anything, and it's pretty sticky. So I've just been like milking out the use of my Zebra Mineliners. Okay, so this is the point. I restocked my Pentel Fluide Touch brush pen, and so I started using like brush pen calligraphy headers on my work, which really transformed its aesthetic, I do feel like, but also made my notes more pretty, so I really wanted to actually like study with these. So yeah, you can tell that my style has really evolved from my pencil and no header style to my Myliner plus brush pen plus pen style. Yeah, and you can tell that I got better at lettering, I think, overall. Yeah, and you'll see that I use different colors of Zebra Myliners. I'm sorry, not Zebra Myliners. Zebra pens throughout my notes just to like emphasize certain things. So I don't usually use different pen colors except for in math, which I think is like the only place that you could possibly use new pen colors, because that's where like the most vocabulary, the most like formulas are, side notes, etc. Yeah, so that's it for my notes, and thus is also it for my video. I hope you enjoyed, got a glimpse into like my general life over quarantine. Again, obviously it's just been studying and like to-do listing, but that's for another day. And I hope that these like supply listings helped with like potentially you guys being able to buy your own supplies. I also have links down below to every single thing I've used. Most of it is off of Amazon. Actually, all of it is off of Amazon, and a few things that I don't link are probably things that I bought in like physical stores that I cannot find. Like for example, this bullet journal and this notebook I found inside Target, so I definitely cannot tell you what brand they are, but all of the supplies will be linked down below. And if you like this video, please subscribe and also press the like button. That's the most important part if you liked it. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling through my words, go get some coffee, and get back to work. Thank you.